broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
On top, saving my peak, and everything they said was out of my reach. So close there, let it all home stand.
I love this music. I've always loved this music, and I love being back here. It's been way too long since I've been here, and it's been too long since I've been able to talk to you guys live on AfterBuzz TV. You were watching the YouTube page, AfterBuzzTV.com, of course, iTunes, SoundCloud. Like, subscribe, give them 5 stars, all that love, because we got to talk SmackDown and the Royal Rumble. A lot to do today, so we're going to get right to it. What's up, everybody? I'm Christian Rosenberg. You can follow me on Twitter at @RoRosenberg, Instagram at @TheRoRosenberg, and of course, this new Talk Rosie Talk t-shirt is for sale at ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. Joining me, the gang's all back together. First off, at Curtin Jerks. He was also off last week, but he's back. It's Scott Narver.
Yeah. Well, how much is that shirt? $1,000?
No, oh, you would think.
I would.
Looking at this, you would think it's $1,000
because it's got sleeves on it.
It does.
Makes me think it's $1,000.
And not only are there sleeves, they're short ones.
So $2,000.
What if I told you this shirt was $19.95 or $99? I don't know how they price it. One of those. It's a couple cents under $20.
Fair enough. Sounds like a deal.
And the lovely lady next to you at Christy Reports, it's Christy Olson.
And you're welcome for holding down the fort.
Thank you.
I was out, by the way.
I was going to thank you for holding down the fort. I thank you for making one of my Christian Rosenberg shirts look very stylish.
Yes, there's tank tops as well, but you got to do it yourself.
Yeah, fair enough. I've been gone for the last couple weeks. I was in Hawaii for 8 days. It was nice. I got to relax. I got to do some comedy while I was out there. Big thanks to On the Spot Improv for having me out there. I had a great time. And I'm back just in time to talk about the Rumble.
Yeah.
And we got some SmackDown to go over. And I know I'm late to the Thursday night on USA train because it started while I was gone. But I need to talk about for a minute how in love I am with Mauro Ranallo. And
that's all right. Take as much time as you want.
And evil Jerry Lawler. Because more so Mauro, when, honestly, Jim Ross was the last time that I felt this type of emotion in commentary. And, I do some commentary, of course, and it's really tough to keep the energy. Especially you do 2-hour, 3-hour, maybe even 4-hour shows. Mm-hmm. I've even been told by promoters as far as notes in the passages, like, you have all this energy towards the beginning, but then later on, you might get tired. They're long shows. It's a long production. From the second the show starts, Ronaldo's energy is at an 11. And by the time the show is done, it is like at 111. And just today, for example, we'll get into the 6-man tag in a minute, but he was heading to commercial. You might want to know why Dolph Ziggler's face is painted red. We'll tell you after the break. Hey, he's telling us a story. And even just the little things. It didn't really have any impact on the match per se, why his face was painted. But it's the things like that. And with Jerry Lawler working off him as a Jerry Lawler that everyone loved, minus the whole puppies thing, because you got to keep it PG, it has become a whole different show. And the ratings show it. SmackDown's ratings have skyrocketed since they moved to USA. Mm-hmm. I was, got a chance to listen a little bit to the shows the last couple weeks while I was gone. Overall energy and excitement for the shows are going up because they're telling stories. And then tonight was probably the best go-home SmackDown before a pay-per-view in a long time.
Yes.
Agreed.
Very agreed. Very agreed on all this. Yeah, Lawler playing this role. It's well suited. He has someone to play off of. Because Cole, Cole does what he does, but Cole's so focused forward. He doesn't generally play along with other people's antics. And if he does, he undercuts them a lot. Like he undercuts JBL for references more than 10 minutes old. Like it's just what he does. Jim Ross would play into those, like as you were mentioning.
Right.
Paul Heyman plays into that. Like, and Lawler thrives when doing that, and to antagonize someone. And when he has a point of view, he's great, and he's got that again in Morrow, and it's a great job. And Rich Brennan was doing that too. That was a very short-lived team with Booker and.
Yeah, I do feel bad for Rich Brennan because he was growing on me, and now he's not even on NXT. They have Tom Phillips back in NXT. Rich Brennan is just doing backstage, and I think he definitely got the raw deal out of this because I like Rich Brennan. But this combination of Morrow and Evil Lawler, and with Byron Saxton chiming in too, I don't know if we can keep Saxton on both Raw and SmackDown, but I love, he's the fair color commentator, and I've always liked Byron Saxton, and just like him, and kind of they're much smaller doses than I think they are on Raw with him, but what Saxton puts in on top of it, it's just, to me, it's the best commentary WWE has had since JR left. The best commentary team.
Mm-hmm.
It also only took them that first week to get it down with each other.
Yeah.
Morrow and sorry.
No, you got it.
Sorry, I was looking at the chat roll and now I got distracted. But yeah, it really only took them that first week to figure out who's going to do what and not step on each other. There was a tiny bit of that the first week, and now it's just rolling.
Yeah. They're a solidified team already.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it didn't take long for that to gel.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's get into the actual SmackDown stuff. We start with a talk from Mr. Y2J, Chris Jericho. Comes out sparkly jacket and all. He's talking about the Rumble. He's recapping the crazy highlight reel that ended Raw this past Monday, which saw the Wyatts take out Reigns and Lesnar. And he is suddenly interrupted by New Day, which is always glorious. New Day is deep in mourning about the loss of Francesca, their trombone.
Aww.
And Xavier Woods said Chris Jericho should. They have a documentary all set called Making a Brass Murderer. Oh my God. As cheesy as that is, I still love it because it's New Day. They want a moment of silence for Francesca, but Jericho interrupts that and thinks, oh, you guys need unicorn names instead of your regular names, and he comes up with Rudy, Tootie, and Booty. And they're not happy about it.
No, it's very disrespectful. Unbelievable.
Were you offended by it?
I was offended by it. I was offended by a man who shows up in a sport coat last week or on Monday, with no shirt.
So he did the blazer with no shirt, then he did the vest of the suit later on, and then tonight he has a jacket, and I think he had the dress pants.
Well, you guys, there's a lot of travel going on. You got to make that wardrobe last.
I assume the jacket didn't work, and it was somebody in Gorilla was like, give me your jacket, give me your jacket. I need it right now. I'm not going out there without a shirt. That's my guess. Are there other guesses, other theories out there?
I'm okay with it.
I'm sure a whole book will be written about it by Jericho.
No, I mean, he's only written 19 of them.
Yeah. This is number 20.
Yep.
What happened to my jacket that night?
Bestseller.
Forward by JBL.
But they got great chemistry, all of them. New Day's always great amongst themselves. They can have a great segment on their own, and then Jericho's livening up and playing along with them.
Yeah.
So, that was fun.
And this led into a 6-man tag team match. Again, they're holding Jericho off from wrestling. He hasn't wrestled yet, but he's been making all these appearances, saving him. They're building him up. I mean, he's calling himself one of the 3 odds-on favorites in the Rumble with him, Reigns, and Lesnar. I love it. It's making you think that Jericho could have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And they're holding him off from actually competing. And so now we get the 6-man, New Day versus the Usos and Ziggler. There were more drop kicks in this match than I can remember in a match. It's like they were all competing on who can do the best drop kick. even the Usos were doing drop kicks in this one.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There was a lot of them. And this match went, 25 minutes? It was 3 segments?
And not one boring second. Not one time did I look away, look down to take a note. It was just so much fun.
Yeah. By the way, Andrew Beeler in the chat says shirtless Jericho is best for business.
Best dropkick in wrestling, who would you say?
Today? Oh.
Or
Bob
ever.
Holly?
Well, All-time Bob Holly. Today, it might be Kofi.
I say it's still Maven. I'm sure he's living out of his public storage unit, and anybody who tries to come in and kick him out of there, boom, best drop kick in the business.
Oh my God. I'm trying to think. There's
I love Mr. Perfect's how he would like hold your head and then and drop kick you in the face.
Would aim.
I remember Earthquake did the same thing, and I was flabbergasted that he was delivering a drop kick, and it wasn't bad. But this match went like 25 minutes. There's a point where Big E spanked one of the Usos.
Yeah.
All right.
That was interesting. Something new.
That was lively.
Yeah.
Does there need to be more spanking in wrestling, you guys?
Perhaps.
I mean...
It depends on the storyline.
Yeah.
Grown men in hot pink tights getting spanked, isn't that why we watch?
Yeah, right. Lupio316 in the chat. I might as well get it out of the way now because he says, "Nice tan, Rosenberg. I'm aware that I do not tan. This
There's
is
actually
not
been several of those kind of comments, Christian. They're really ripping on you.
This is not news to me." And
Did you try?
I did, and I have I've been back for about 4 days now, and
it all peeled away.
No, what I was going to say was there were tan lines.
Yikes.
I'll let you think of that for yourself at home, ladies and gentlemen.
Follow him on Instagram, everybody.
Yeah, those
access.
pictures are that's the snap that's on Sonny's Skype page or something like that.
Yikes.
Anywho, a triple super kick for the win by
awesome.
Usos and Ziggler. It's hard to time one super kick, let alone 3, without Wood's face just ricocheting off each one of them.
And they were dead on.
This whole match was dead on. It's just absolutely fantastic match. I mean, I can't say anything negative about it at all. I loved it. They told a great story. Hyped up the tag title match. Hyped up Ziggler in the Rumble.
Jericho in the Rumble.
And Jericho's interaction with New Day.
Yeah, and it was a different start to the show. It wasn't the 20-minute promo from... everyone would get from week to week, like what it used to be with Seth Rollins. It wasn't the formula. Like, a lot of the same formula elements, but different players.
Yeah.
So, it was fun.
It was a lot of fun. And then we go right from there. We continue the action, Divas action, Becky Lynch versus Alicia Fox. We have not seen Alicia in the ring in quite some time. I don't know if she was nursing an injury or what, but for so long it's really been her just in Bree's corner.
She had to get her hair ready, because that is the most amazing hair in all of wrestling ever.
Her hair. Is it better than Xavier Woods' hair on pay-per-views?
Yes.
On pay-per-views?
Yes.
I'm going to say yes.
Wow.
Because she fights with it.
Foxy.
Xavier Woods sometimes will stand by and not fight.
All right.
She looks like a badass warrior with that hair.
She is a badass warrior. She should have badass hair.
Right, but now it's like right out of Mad Max or something. Like, now I fear her. That's awesome.
Scary hair.
It's a cool look. Like, get that action figure out there. Get posters. Get cards. Do it all. Like, that is a cool look she's got going right now.
It's always a good look with Alicia, in my opinion. But now she's got the crazy hair going, too. She's taking on Becky Lynch. Charlotte and Ric Flair on commentary. I love early in the match, Becky yelled at Alicia saying, "Come at me, bro." Like, I don't know how the mics picked it up, and it just caught my ear. So, all of a sudden, Becky Lynch saying, "Come at me, bro." All right. Alicia delivered a Northern Lights suplex on the outside of the ring, and looked really good. Again, this match it was only maybe about 5 or so minutes. I mean, it wasn't going to be a long match after the really long 6-man tag, but very good, hard-fought match by both sides. Becky hit the disarmer for the win. You have Charlotte on commentary pretty much saying, it was different back then. She shouldn't be going after my title. I'm the Divas champion. She was just my tag team partner. So continuing to tell that story. Ric Flair being Ric Flair. And a good Divas match.
Solid match. Alicia looked like a contender. It wasn't just a squash match, which was nice.
Yes. And here's the big difference between Charlotte versus Becky feud and the Charlotte versus Paige feud. Because Paige was still kind of heel, and Charlotte was making the transition to heel. So fans were a little confused as to who to cheer. And I think that's part of the reason why it didn't really pick up the type of steam that I think they were hoping. This feud, the crowd is completely behind. Becky is getting huge reactions. And this is great because we know who we should be cheering for. We know who we should be booing at this point. And I'm really torn in this match. We'll talk about it in predictions shortly, but I'm torn in this one. So I'm looking forward to it a lot. And
are you torn near the tan lines?
This is kind of a PG show, so I don't know how much how descriptive I should get him in these tan lines. I mean, I was,
He's got medical bills, everybody. He's got torn tan lines.
Yes, I've surgically repaired tan lines.
They think you're looking more svelte, though, so they are complimenting you as well, Christian.
I have been over the last beginning like early December or like late November. I've been back to the gym because I finally got the clearance from the doctors. I can start working out again. I've been hanging out with friend of AfterBuzz, Bradley Pierce, Ryan Nemeth, who buy his workout book on Amazon, by the way. It's been selling great. Shout out to him at Hot Young Bradley. He's been helping train. I've been going to the gym. So I'm slowly but surely trying to get back in the swing of things. So thank you, guys. That makes me like blush and stuff. Now I'll get red because of the blush.
Now they're gonna start ripping on you again.
I get for every compliment I get, there's about a bazillion jokes that are thrown at me. But that's okay. I love it. I love all of you. And let's get into, though, because we have a Hall of Famer on commentary during this match.
Yeah.
And Christy, apparently in this week's edition of Believe That, has some talk regarding the Hall of Fame.
That's right, gentlemen. Do you believe this? Rumored Hall of Fame inductees for this year. Allegedly, a WWE employee leaked some names, and there's been an email going around. But it looks like they might just be assumptions, because these are names like JBL and Jacqueline, who are both from Texas.
Yes.
Jacqueline's from Dallas.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if people are just assuming that it'll be them. People are also saying that in that email, the Freebirds were mentioned. That makes a lot of sense. And the Celebrity Hall of Fame inductee may be Regis Philbin.
Oh.
That one might throw you off a bit.
All of which should be in the Hall of Fame. No doubt about it. They always try to have at least one person kind of be the hometown guy from the area. Freebirds, I think there is, without a shadow of a doubt, they go in this year. I would not be surprised if JBL goes in this year. Jacqueline should go in. I don't think she will yet. Honestly, I think while Lesnar is still in such a huge spotlight, I think they induct Sable before Jacqueline.
I don't think Sable would ever accept.
You don't think Sable will ever accept, James?
I don't think she likes Vince McMahon.
I don't know.
There's something there that she stays so out of the spotlight, and there's no photos and there's no mention, and even when you watch like the countdown stuff on the network, it seems like she's omitted from a lot of mentions. I don't know.
And I'm sure they don't want to acknowledge their relationship with the Beast Incarnate, who's also married.
Right, but I mean, I'm not saying have him present it.
But it's at some point like it's acknowledging the two things existing together, Or she mentions like my sweet husband Brock, and then he's out there in the crowd like, hi.
Well, she might say, I just have to thank my husband. Might not even mention name.
Sure.
I don't know.
It's not what Brock would allow.
But I mean, I don't know. This is just completely guessing my part, because I would think obviously Sable should be in the Hall of Fame at some point. Certainly should Jacqueline. Regis, as far as a celebrity, it makes sense from his early stuff that he did with WWE. I want Cyndi Lauper in.
Yes.
As far as celebrity wing, the two people that I think I really want in the most are Cyndi Lauper and Lawrence Taylor. And I have a feeling, though, because it's election year, that Jon Stewart will be inducted.
Oh, that would make sense.
Because in his speech, talk about going out and voting.
I assume it's Trump.
He's already in.
Is he already in?
Trump's already in.
Yeah.
And he was booted out of the building in New York a few years ago.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I don't believe it'll be the Freebirds, because I think they all find it so funny that Hayes is not in the Hall of Fame. Oh. And he always complains about it every chance he's on camera.
Yep.
So no, I don't think they'll put him in at all. I believe everybody else. I believe Philbin. I think Jacqueline's a good pick, especially for a diva, because I can't think of, unlike Sable, like I can't think of another
other ones that I can think off the top of my head that aren't in it. Well, Elizabeth,
Right.
but
true, but that's still around to do a speech.
Right.
That I mean, like there's Molly Holly, there's Victoria, there's them, but I still feel like some of them are kind of still active. And Jacqueline from Texas,
sure,
you get one or two people from Texas. They never stack it from wherever they're from.
Mm-hmm. What about Bull Nakano?
Yeah. She's amazing. I love Bull Nakano.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe like for the Hall of Fame.
But I assume they're sooner going to do someone that people know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bull Nakano, they have to do well, here's who she was, And they're still trying to sell tickets to these things. So.
Sure.
I think JBL probably before the Freebirds, because they don't want to overshadow like too many Texas people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why that's why I don't think all three of those people that you mentioned, Christy, will be in at once. I don't think all the Texas, at least one of them. JBL, I think, is a lock this year, and well deserved.
Yeah.
I do,
and
think
they're pushing the Legends show.
Yeah, I personally think Freebirds have a higher chance this year over Jacqueline, but I'm fine either way. And then if it's not Freebirds, then maybe I can continue my yearly argument about getting Demolition in the damn Hall of Fame.
They should be in there, definitely.
If you follow me for the last 3 years on this show, I have been pleading every year for Demolition to get in this damn Hall of Fame.
Start that online petition, Christian.
I do it every year.
But you start with Ryback, which is no good because he blocked you.
Yeah, well, what if I start Ryback for Hall of Fame? Would he unblock me?
No.
Oh my God, I'm sure he would.
Block you more.
I would think he would block me more.
Block you more, yeah. Oh, we should get that going.
Hashtag
He would block
me
you
more.
off the top rope.
Yeah.
We'll get to Ryback in a little bit. He was on SmackDown tonight.
Would he
Finally.
shell block you?
Oh!
Oh, nice.
That happened. Miz TV. He's hyping up last man standing match between Ambrose and Kevin Owens. Out comes Dean Ambrose. And Miz pretty much tells Ambrose to shut up. Ambrose threatens to beat him up. And Miz is annoyed at the crowd and is just like, well, you guys think that Dean can do a better job than me? Crowd starts a yes chant. And we get introduced to the first installment of Dean TV, which I can get used to. Ambrose gets a great promo hyping up the last man standing match. Going around the ring, talking about different areas on how he plans on using them.
Thankfully, he didn't beat up a dummy this time.
No, there was no dummy. There was no, random bag of weapons.
Yeah.
And, of course, then out comes Owens. Owens, obviously, with his rebuttal, mentioning how Ambrose's insanity will be his downfall. And Ambrose is like, well, why do we have to wait till Sunday? Why don't we start now? And they stare down. And then Miz viciously attacks Ambrose from behind, lays him out, and tells Owens, hey, come in, pick up the pieces. Owens comes in, happy about it, and then he goes and pop-up powerbombs Miz. Because apparently just nobody likes Miz.
This is true.
Nobody likes Miz, apparently.
I he's
find him
dressing in
entertaining.
the hallway with Josh from Tough Enough.
I forgot to talk to you about that. Yeah, that's a whole different issue, whole different time. And so he pop-up powerbombs Miz, takes him out, and then he goes to pop-up powerbomb Ambrose. Ambrose at this point recovered a little bit, tackles Owens to the ground. Owens escapes, and we have one more stare down between the two of them. Great segment, hyped up this match tremendously. Here's my one question with it. Because this match is now a last man standing match, they're going to beat the hell out of each other. Do you think either of them are going to be in the Rumble because of that match?
Yes.
You still think they will both be in it, or just one of them?
I think there's a chance that this year, you know how it always changes from year to year, like if you have a match, you're not in the Rumble, but
Right.
they never acknowledge it. It's
Sure.
never a said rule. With it being for the title, I think that there's the possibility of everyone in matches could be in the Rumble this year. That's what I think.
Especially since they're short on bodies, just in general.
Because they keep breaking.
They do. They do. It's just like those type of matches, especially with these two guys, it's going to be a really, really good match. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know how they're going to be able to function and then go. But then again, these guys there's a reason why they get pushed the way they do. Because they're going to do it, probably show up in the Rumble, then probably have a 20-minute match on Raw the next night. Then when they tape SmackDown on Tuesday, they're probably going to have another 20-minute match on there because they don't stop.
Hey, best strategy to be in a Rumble is tired and in a heap on the floor. You're dead weight.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point.
Way to strategize.
Yeah, see?
Ryback versus Wyatt. First off, Ryback threw a super kick. Is everyone using super kicks now? Like,
Apparently.
Fine by me. Maybe he wants to get in there and do it with the Usos and Dolph Ziggler. That's the new plan, the next plan.
A
so he's
quadruple
practicing.
super kick?
Yes.
He's
Why
got to
not?
paint his face,
I think
too.
they could do it. Ooh, orange,
It will match his outfit.
Mm-hmm. as expected.
The end of this match, this is how you do a formulated distraction. All like in stereo. You have Harper hop up on the apron, distract the ref. Rowan hops on the apron, pulls Bray off of Ryback's shoulders. Bray then pushes Ryback out of the ring, and right there's Strowman to push him into the stairs and throw him back in to the Sister Abigail. It was boom, boom, boom. Mwah.
So well orchestrated.
Yes.
And you should be thrilled because Ryback got a kiss on his head.
Yes.
He did.
That
got
was
kissed
quite a
tonight.
sexy spanking, kissing. It's like
What's
I know
going-
you said PG earlier, but
What's going on in the
My
show?
goodness.
What is Mauro Ranallo
move
and
to
Eva
USA.
Lawler doing to our show?
Spanks and kisses.
So Bray with the win, and then Bray's now cutting promos just outside the ring with no microphone. He did this on Raw too, I think.
It's WCW style where he's just talking a
He's
lot. There's no microphone. He's just going.
And he says on there, "We may be made of flesh and blood, but we are more than just men." And also mentions that the apocalypse is here.
and after the apocalypse will come the awakening.
Oh, and then the Planet of the Apes.
And then Sister Abigail makes her appearance.
Are you Sister Abigail, Christy?
No, Santana Garrett is.
What? Jacqueline?
Yes, Jacqueline!
Oh, man.
I
wanted
just have some
Daphne.
predictions. I'm just saying.
But they're pushing the Wyatts. This last like week and a half or so. We went from what the hell are they doing with the Wyatts to, oh my God, the Wyatts are dominating.
Yeah, and I just have to mention too, since we just played Believe That, I did one a few months ago that said that maybe Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman would be the main event at WrestleMania, and we were all kind of like, that can't be true. It was right around the time when Braun Strowman first came out. That's still being talked about, and the chatter is getting much louder, so it could happen.
My guess is Brock Lesnar fights the entire Wyatt family at WrestleMania.
4-on-1.
Yep. That's my guess.
I don't. That's not. I hate 4-on-1 matches, which we're going to get to, because it buries that team. Why would they take so long to beat one guy? I can see Brock and Wyatt. I don't know if I can see Strowman with it, and it all depends. It all depends who's champion. Because if Brock is not champion or fighting for the title, then maybe Strowman. If him or Bray is the champion, then I can see them facing each other.
Why can't Luke Harper be champion? Why can't that be the case?
Because they're pushing Strowman over Harper. I disagree with. I agree with you that they should be pushing Harper too.
Harper might be the brains behind the whole operation.
I would love if they revealed that. I would
Bray's
love
just doing
that.
a lot of that, just jabbering away. Focus is taken off. Harper gets them.
Stardust versus Titus, kind of continuing their little TV feud that they've had the last few weeks. Titus had a promo where he compared the Rumble to the line of scrimmage in a football game, and it's actually a fair analogy.
Sure.
And he mentions that he plans on winning his Super Bowl, and then he barks.
Yeah. It's I mean, the WWE has the power to make anyone credible at any moment, as we saw with the Wyatts last week, where it's like, oh, they lose all the time. What's the big deal? Oh my God, they took out Roman and Brock. Titus is so close, I feel, to just being in that next level, and it's just not ever presented that way.
There's like that one thing missing, and it's one of those things where you can't like put your finger on what it is, because he's a solid worker. He's got a good look. He can talk pretty well. Crowd likes him. It's just like he's a great representative for events outside WWE. So it's just like, what's keeping him from just taking that next step?
It's because they keep playing him, and they don't just let him go and be him. Or like give him a month to see, well, that wasn't working, but that's where we're gonna go. They like start something with him, and then within a week they're like, nah, change that, or like, nah, you're off TV, or you're with Darren Young, now you're not with Darren Young, now you're with Stardust, now you're against Stardust. So it's too much stop and go with him.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a very fair point. So this match, another good match, not too long. Clash of the Titus off the second rope, and Titus got the win. And I feel like Stardust, they're making him grow more and more frustrated. And I'm starting to think that maybe it's going to lead for him stopping Stardust at some point, maybe in the next month or so.
That's not a good thing.
I don't know. I love Stardust, and I also love Cody Rhodes. But it's just like, where's Stardust go from here?
Dean Ambrose.
How does Stardust earn his way up to Dean Ambrose if he keeps losing match after match?
Punches him in the face. It's pretty simple, right?
Book it.
At some
Done.
point,
Done.
Crazy.
Got it. Problem solved. Stardust for another year. We go right before we go to commercial. We have Kalisto getting ready to be interviewed, and it looks like he's going over a script with somebody.
Yeah, these are the words
What
you
was
say.
that?
I'm not quite sure, but I'll roll with it. Apparently, it's one thing if they have him like. It would have been hilarious if they had him in makeup. Have him in a makeup chair with the friggin' mask on, and the makeup person. You're good.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, I guess it's the layout of the show. You know, it's like, oh, your segment will be coming up next. Oh, we're being filmed. I shouldn't be filmed. I'm crew. It all felt very strange because that person is just right there on them.
And I found it funny because then when we came back from commercial and it's Renee Young with Kalisto. It was just like, why isn't she there going over stuff? No, she's in her trailer getting ready. She's the
true diva.
She is getting makeup on,
Right.
because Kalisto, they were done with Kalisto so quick that we were able to squeeze Renee in there. She's asking Kalisto about his match this Sunday against the U.S. title. Again, every match on the card they pushed and hyped up on this SmackDown. It was perfect in that regard. Because he's talking about how he's been David his entire life, and Del Rio is a legend in Mexico along the lines of his uncle Mamascaras, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and
the Mexicools.
Well, he could have. Juventud is a legend down in Mexico.
That's what I said. Yeah. The Mexicools.
The Los Boricuas.
Los Boricuas.
Yeah.
Savio Vega is a legend in Mexico. And
El Torito.
No, okay. We were done.
Sin Cara!
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right.
He'll be returning next month, by the way.
Oh. Which one? A new one?
Same one.
All right.
Or at least that's what they want us
I want
to
them
think.
to change it up every year. I want everybody to get to play Sin Cara. Like Doink.
And by the way, this is how you do cut a promo. You hype up your opponent. You don't bury them because you want to be intrigued. If you're just sitting there saying, I'm going to crush you limb for ruin and beat you down and you're not going to stand a chance, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, well, that means this guy's just going to beat him up. But he's been, this is a legend in Mexico. Like, this is a big guy. He feels like he's the underdog, and he's felt the underdog his whole life. But I've beaten him twice, and I know I can beat him that third time in this rubber match. And it's like, oh, okay, now I'm intrigued by it. And then it's interrupted by Del Rio, and him and the League of Nations push him around like he's a 7-year-old kid trying to hang out with the fourth graders. And
Rusev had the best line.
What did Rusev say again?
Rusev, as he grabbed him from behind, and when they shoved him back and forth, he just yells, "Nice to meet you." Like, that's such a good bully line. I love that.
Catch that.
And they beat down Kalisto and stand over him.
Aww.
So, but again, building up, hey, underdog versus Del Rio. Will other League of Nations members show up during that match? Del Rio's the only one with a scheduled match besides the Rumble. Mm-hmm. So, could someone come down there? And that leads us to the main event. Roman Reigns versus the entire League of Nations in a 4-on-1 handicap match.
Again.
Again.
And no, I did not hate the match, but this is the thing. Didn't Reigns just have like a really good 15-minute match with Rusev? Like that went back and forth? And obviously he had his feud with Sheamus over the last month. Mm-hmm. How are we supposed to believe that if he got by those guys with the skin of his teeth, that he can beat all 4 of them at the same freaking time?
But he already did beat them all a couple weeks ago.
Again, why?
Yeah, it's so strange. Like I go back to the thing at WrestleMania. I think what started to win people over about Roman Reigns was he was vulnerable. Like he fought Brock, he fought a big beast, and was getting beat up but giving it back. Like him just being another Superman guy. There's nothing, I think, for the overall audience to grasp onto.
You need some type of vulnerability.
Yeah, and I think when he's just an unstoppable force, it's cool to a degree. Like if I was an 8-year-old kid, it'd be awesome, and I don't doubt it. I think that there's a portion of that works, but when Cena's vulnerable and when Reigns is vulnerable, just like anybody, you start to you get more emotionally invested.
Yeah.
And I think this gigantic uber push of Reigns just isn't going to do it in the way that they want it to be without that crack in the armor.
Mm-hmm. So eventually all 4 members come in the ring and attack him, cause a DQ. They're beating down Reigns. Usos come out to try to make the save for their cousin. League of Nations still have the number advantage. They take out the Usos. Reigns gets back to his feet, knocks out a few League of Nations members, and all of a sudden lights go out, and here come the Wyatts again. And the Wyatts go ahead and take out Reigns. And Raw and SmackDown end with the Wyatt family standing tall over one of the favorites in the Royal Rumble match.
What are they trying to tell us?
They're trying to tell us that it's time to get to predictions.
Ooh.
That's what they're trying. You like that? You like that?
That was good.
That was pretty good.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
And by the way, as we get ready to talk about the predictions, we always love hearing what you guys think and how you want to improve these shows. And you can do that by leaving comments on the YouTube page and, of course, on our iTunes page. Make sure you like and subscribe and tell your friends about the wonderful world of AfterBuzz. You guys know we do SmackDown, we do Raw, we do NXT, we did Breaking Ground, we do Total Divas is Back, which Christy hosts. And, of course, we do the pay-per-views. And, of course, if there's, by chance, some other show on television that you watch besides wrestling, most likely AfterBuzz covers it.
That's right.
So make sure you check the whole schedule of shows, and the more feedback we get, the better the shows will be for you guys, and we like you.
You
You guys are okay.
Hosts, new friends.
Yeah. I like to consider myself a friend of our listeners
That was
and
so
viewers.
aggressive. I like to consider myself a friend.
Look, I'm your friend, whether you like it or not.
Friends can tan.
Can they? Can all friends tan?
I think so.
Can Sheamus tan?
He can if he wanted to.
Okay. Can Paige tan?
No.
All right. So I'm in Paige level. That was just, okay.
I don't know if I'm supposed to cheer you or boo you. I don't.
When the Bellas come and spray his stomach with a self-tanner, then we'll know.
All right, so let's get into the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. My favorite pay-per-view of the year. I'm super excited for this card. No, I am. I mean, and this is usually every year in the Rumble, we're like, oh, this guy's winning. Maybe a slight chance this guy. This year we got like maybe 5, 6, 7 guys that we can make an argument. Oh, I can see him winning, since the title is on the line for it this year. But first off, kickoff match. This is a 4-way tag team match, fatal 4-way tag match. The winning team apparently gets the last 2 spots in the Rumble, because I guess every other spot is now taken other than this. And the teams are the Dudley Boys. Okay. The Ascension. Makes sense. Jack Swagger and Mark Henry.
What?
I like that team.
All right. And Darren Young with Damien Sandow. First off, hooray, Sandow's back on a pay-per-view. Secondly, why the hell is Darren Young teaming with Damien Sandow?
Maybe Darren Young is a closeted genius and we didn't know it. He's just been hiding. He's Mensa smart, just like Sandow. They've been lurking in the shadows.
Perhaps.
Could be. Perhaps. Or he just likes bathrobes.
He might like bathrobes.
Yeah, they might be bathrobe buddies.
Yeah. So, whoever's winning this is not winning the Rumble. We know that. I think we can all be in agreement of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the team of Swagger and Henry win this match. Because Mark Henry's kind of been hinting. And I remember a few years ago, I listened to him on my brother from another mother, Peter Rosenberg's podcast. And he said he signed a 3-year contract. And when that contract was up, he was finishing.
Oh.
And I want to say it's been at least 2 years since that interview. So it would make sense that this might be his last Rumble, kind of going on his last year of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say Swagger and Henry win, so Henry's in one more Rumble.
He's also from Texas, so maybe
he is
that's
from
his
Silsbee,
way
Texas.
To
I think
get
he wins.
to WrestleMania and say his farewell in Texas at WrestleMania.
Maybe.
I assume he wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
That would make sense in Texas at Mania. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm going with Swagger and Henry.
Yeah, you got me convinced. I'm with you.
Well, that's what I was going to do, too. Now I guess I'll go Dudley Boys.
You can never go wrong by picking the Dudley Boys.
Yes, I can.
The chat roll are thinking it's going to be the Dudleys. Green Thunder says, definitely the Dudleys.
Definitely the Dudley. Definitely the Dudley.
They also said you should not make the reference to closets when you're talking about Darren Young.
I know what I was doing.
And I was being very good in keeping my mouth shut when you said it.
He said it. He's the guy that, that's the whole thing.
Adrian doesn't think that Curtis Axel will be eliminated from this Rumble either.
I hope not.
He's got to get in it first.
By the way, they should have, instead of this 4-way elimination tag match, should have been 8-man tag with 4 spots. The Social Outcasts versus some other foursome. Mm-hmm. Let the Outcasts win, and all of a sudden they're all celebrating. I'm in a Rumble. I'm going to win the Rumble. No, I'm going to win the Rumble. Whatever. And then you have 4 comedic guys in the Rumble. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking at least 2 of them are going to be in it. I don't know if all 4 will be, but at least 2 of them.
I think 1 will be in there.
Slater's definitely in.
Slater's in. That was my guess too.
I'm thinking they're gonna put Axel in, or he's gonna get screwed and not get in the ring again because of something. Like maybe Bo Dallas causes him.
Go down, and it's like I'm going in. Like no, I'm going in. Yeah, and cause trouble there.
Maybe. We'll see.
Or he comes at the very, very end and is like, "I'm still in this from last year."
True.
Yeah. He could be a 2-time Rumble winner.
Yeah. Why not?
Tag Team Championship, New Day versus Usos. I think Usos are going to win. And as much as I love New Day as champion, and I could see them certainly getting the titles back, I think Jericho is going to be involved in this. And somehow Usos are going to win. And it's going to branch off into something involving Jericho and New Day more, because they've been at each other the last 3 weeks or so. Mm-hmm. So I can see Jericho, maybe Woods was trying to interfere and Jericho comes out, takes Woods off the ring, and Usos win the titles.
Jericho is a murderer.
He is apparently. He is a brass murderer. Yeah. He's a brass murderer.
I say New Day retains. I can see go either way. But I think they have it one more until there's like a bigger stipulation. I think that's when Usos would get it.
Okay.
Oh, I think it might be Usos' time.
All right.
To get that title back.
Okay. Intercontinental Championship Last Man Standing match. Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. This match is going to go everywhere. And it's going to be fantastic. I only think that these two, were kind of talking earlier about whether or not they'll be in the Rumble. Mm-hmm. If this opens the show, they will be in the Rumble.
Okay. Makes sense.
I have no idea where they're going to put it, though, because it's really, that's the biggest match before the Rumble, as far as what's listed on the card, the biggest hype. I'm saying Ambrose retains.
I agree. Ambrose retains.
Agreed, and I think they might kick off the show with that.
We'll see. United States Championship on the line. Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio. Can the upset happen again? I've gone first every time this time, so I'm not going to go first this time.
I'm torn on this one.
Okay.
But I think that he can get it back. Maybe this is something that'll keep going back and forth. All the reports about backstage, behind the scenes, says that they're really trying to build up a huge Latino superstar. And this is kind of a great way to do that, leading up to WrestleMania, is to have it go back and forth between the two of them and to really build up Alberto Del Rio. So I think that, I think he's going to get it back.
I think this is the match that opens the show.
And that would make sense, too.
Yeah. And I think Kalisto wins it because I don't know if it was a testing of the waters to see what happened, but I think they put him in the spotlight enough, and I think it is on a bigger platform, on a bigger stage that they will put this out there. And I think he's going to turn some heads. I think it's going to be a really great showing for him.
I also think Kalisto wins, but it's going to be by DQ.
Oh.
I think League of Nations will interfere because if we're already, based on our predictions, we already know the WWE title's on the line and could very well change hands. If the tag titles change, how many titles are going to change hands on one pay-per-view? There could be 2 or 3, but you're going to have all the titles change. So I could see League of Nations causing a DQ. So Kalisto wins, but Del Rio keeps the title and continues this feud to Fastlane, where they'll have some type of stipulation, and to keep pushing the Latino market with the chase and building up the Mexican superstar. In this case, be Kalisto. So
I think Kalisto wins the belt. And have you guys noticed that they're calling him the Lucha Dragon Kalisto? Which makes me wonder, if and when Sin Cara comes back, if they're going to be put back as a tag team.
Oh, they won't. There's no way. This was a huge blessing in disguise for Kalisto. Because they started pushing him a little bit when they had him upset Ryback in the tournament. And then he had that match with Del Rio. And then they started pushing the tag team more. He had that moment of the year in the TLC match. And then Sin Cara got hurt. And all of a sudden, Kalisto's United States champion. Granted, between Sin Cara getting hurt and Cena getting hurt, so the whole feud with Del Rio stopped. A lot had to happen for this to happen to Kalisto, but it was the right time for it to happen. Obviously, you don't want anyone to get injured, but in Kalisto's case, this was the right time for it to happen.
Lucky time.
Yeah. Divas title, Charlotte versus Becky. Ric Flair will be at ringside. I can see him getting ejected early.
They need him out there doing his antics.
Honestly, this is the one match I'm torn on the most.
We heard your tan lines.
It's true.
Busted wide open.
It's true.
No. There's no way that Becky's going to win this.
Are you sure?
Not to say that she should or shouldn't, but no, I'm positive.
Why?
The title is not going to change hands.
Why?
It's just not. What's it really going to do? This is all about Charlotte. It's all about Charlotte all the time. It'll continue to be about Charlotte until WrestleMania.
Well, why can't Charlotte win it again before WrestleMania?
Well, she can, and the title should change hands. I agree that it should, but it's not going to be Becky. It's just not. There's just too many other high-profile ladies that are in a better position right now to take the title than Becky. And I love Becky, and I love to see her getting this shot, but I don't think it's her time yet. It's just not.
Jacqueline.
She's not in the match, Scott.
I think Becky wins this one by DQ.
Okay, so you're doing a DQ prediction for this one.
To keep it going to
also
Fastlane,
makes sense.
Because it's going so well. Yeah. And I think Becky's momentum is going really good, so I don't think they want to kill it early. But like you said, I think there's a bigger match in place. I'm assuming it's a 4-way for the title at Mania with Charlotte holding on to it.
I would love it.
So
Nikki could possibly be back by then.
That's what I'm
thinking. Your prediction, Scott, with the DQ being in that one, it's going to happen in one of those two.
Yes,
one of those two is going to happen.
Yeah.
I can certainly see Becky winning this, but I am going to pick Charlotte. I do think Flair will get ejected early, and then it's going to showcase Charlotte can be dirty and find a way to sneak out the win without Dad at ringside.
Oh.
And this feud can continue because she kind of cheated the win. And then you got to remember Sasha will be back.
Yes.
I don't know if it'll be a fatal 4-way at Mania. I could definitely see a triple threat. But time will tell for that.
Either way, it's going to be good.
Yep. And then we have the Royal Rumble match itself. 30 competitors. And for the first time ever, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship will be defended in this match. Someone won the title once. Ric Flair did in '92, but the title was vacant at the time. So Roman Reigns is number 1 in the in the Rumble. First off, there are a bunch of random side questions I want to kind of do like quick rapid fire stuff.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
First off,
False.
All right.
D.
All right. First off, any NXT people in the Rumble?
1.
Which one? Just random. Obviously, this is not
Zayn.
You're going with Zayn?
Balor.
Balor?
Sorry. And maybe maybe
and
AJ
maybe
Styles.
Bailey? Maybe Bailey.
Maybe AJ Styles.
That was another one of my rapid fire questions. I'm saying Apollo Crews is the NXT guy who shows
okay.
up.
That's good. Cool.
Samoa Joe.
So maybe Samoa Joe.
that'd
It's
be
in
so
Orlando, so you know there's at least one of them showing up.
They're all supposed to be there backstage.
Right.
The whole crew.
It's going to be at least one of them.
Maybe it'll be the Yeti, the guy that won the Tough Enough.
And get destroyed by everyone. Any type of surprise entrance? Any legends?
Yes.
How many?
4.
That many?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 2.
Because last year, when I was I think there were 3.
I'm trying to remember who was last
Bubba
year.
Ray Dudley, DDP, and the Boogeyman.
Oh, okay.
I
yeah.
cried with happiness. I was so happy.
I'm not
Picture
quite.
you bawling in the stands at the Royal Rumble.
I was emotional. I was like a father excited for his son.
I'm not quite sure who the 2 will be, but the one that I have no reason to think this. I haven't gotten any insider tips or anything like that. But for some reason, I see Vader showing up.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I see
Star
Vader
Wars,
showing up.
You know?
Yes, that's exactly it.
I would love that.
Any guesses on a legend showing up?
X-Pac.
X-Pac would be a good one.
Scott Hall.
Wrestling?
In the Rumble?
What? Do you think Jake Roberts can finally be in the Rumble?
This would be the one I'd want him to show up in, because I don't like the idea of a guy just showing up and then getting tossed out. But this one, the title's on the line, so I think they're going to pull some big names. Not just like the funny ones. There'll be like one funny, silly person, but these will be like major contenders and legendary status.
Sure.
So I think Hall's one of those guys.
Yeah, because without people like Cena and Orton and those guys there, they need maybe a Vader. Mm-hmm. What about Rob Van Dam?
That's another one.
Can he come back, please?
He could
Let me
very well come back.
RVD.
Is he still on his part-time contract? Who knows?
It's been a while.
Probably smoked it. I don't know.
And then one more random question: will Triple H or Daniel Bryan be in the Rumble?
Triple H, yes. Daniel Bryan, no. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan, no, not yet. It would surprise me if Cena showed up in it.
He tore his rotator cuff 2 weeks ago. He's fine.
Still on a sling.
He's going to be at Mania, for sure.
He'll somehow get there because he's insane.
He's going. I hadn't thought about Triple H. I say yes to that, and Daniel Bryan, not yet.
I say no to Daniel Bryan, and I say no to Triple H, but I think Triple H will be involved in the elimination of Roman Reigns. Therefore, I'm saying Roman Reigns is not winning. And then let's do the tiebreaker, and then we'll pick our Rumble winner.
Okay.
Tiebreaker for the Royal Rumble this year is which number entrant will be in the shortest. Not the length of time, not the name, but what number between 1 and 30. We know it's not going to be number 1. We know Reigns is going to be in for a while. Do we think it's going to be something like number 3? Like maybe 1 and 2 have some big moment, and then like Michaels and Taker some years ago, and then Santino came out as number 3?
Or Hurricane with Stone Cold and Triple H.
Or yeah, like a moment like that. Or do we think it could just be later on in the Rumble where like Curtis Axel's finally entering the Rumble, and he runs in and gets thrown out immediately?
No, I think it'll be one of those lower numbers because
Okay.
that's how you tell a good story too, right? It's like if the guys are hanging out in there for a while. So yeah, I'm gonna say like maybe 4.
All
I'm
right.
going to say 15.
15 said by James.
Just because, like, when we're halfway through, who's coming out next? And then it's going to be someone crazy, and then they're going to get tossed right out.
Scott, you said 6?
6.
I'm going 29. Number 29 is going to be a joke. And they're going to be so excited that it got such a great number and then tossed out right away.
Dean Douglas gets thrown out that
Yes! That'd be a great one!
Yay!
Get Dean Douglas in there. All right, so with that
It's
said,
just a bunch of crazy numbers going through the
the
chat roll.
chat roll is just picking numbers
Okay.
now.
I think the chat
Pain.
roll is right because all 30 numbers are
I
represented.
guarantee someone in the chat roll correctly picked which number.
Way
will
to
be the
go,
shortest
chat
one.
roll.
Good job.
You nailed it.
So with all that said, who's winning the Rumble?
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
There's a rocket strapped to that ass, and it is going all the way to WrestleMania.
Yep.
You are both wrong.
I thought of a storyline I'd love to do. I'm going to post it. Like, I'm doing a whole WrestleMania prediction of what I'd like to see, a realistic card of what I'd want it to be. It's not going to happen. But so that's why I think it's Reigns.
Lesnar. I'm going to go with Lesnar.
Okay.
Part of me, if Ambrose and Owens opens the show, I want to say Owens.
That's my pick.
But I can't, because if it's later on in the show and they're going to get so beat up, I can't predict someone who I might not think is even in the match because he got so beat up. So
Kind of how predictions work, Christian.
Is that how it works? All this time, that's what I've been doing wrong. So I'm going Lesnar. So you two say Reigns, I say Lesnar.
And Brian Rice
they
in the
agree
chat
with
room
you.
says Dean Malenko. So we're all wrong.
Dean Malenko, the Iceman. He can win it.
You're cracking him up, Scott.
All right, so this was a long show, but needed because it felt so good to be back. I had to get a lot off my chest. Speaking of chest, do you see this Talk Rosie shirt? Talk Rosie Talk t-shirt? I can't even say the damn shirt right. I'll plug it later. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in. Chrissy, how can people reach out to you?
Oh, please join me for the Total Divas After Show. We go on live Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific. I would love to see you there in the chat roll. And please also check out ChristyReports.com and follow me on Instagram at ChristyReports.
Scott?
You can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud, and my comedy video game podcast, 16 Bits Podcast, available on iTunes and SoundCloud as well. It's all there.
All right, and you can follow me on Twitter at Will Rosenberg, Instagram at The Will Rosenberg, and again, the t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. Got a few shows to plug real quick. This Saturday, I'll be performing at Shaky Town Live in North Hollywood, California. That's a little stand-up comedy for you this weekend.
Ooh.
And then next weekend, Saturday, January 30th, IWL presents Insanity at Industry Hills. It is a combination wrestling tag team tournament and rap concert headlined by Crazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony. And if we have a tag team tournament, you know Teddy Long has to be there, and Teddy Long is going to be there.
Yeah.
Go to theiwl.com for details. And then Sunday, January 31st, Alpha Omega Wrestling, the company I own, presents Unleash 5. It's our WrestleMania type show. We got Brian Kendrick there. Mike Knox is going to be there, amongst others. Tweet me for more details on that. Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. For James Frank at the Jimbo Slice in the booth, Christy Olson at Christy Reports, Scott Narver at Curtain Jerks, I'm Christian Rosenberg at Will Rosenberg, and we'll see you at the Rumble.
Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.